So, John, who is Think It, Be It for exactly?
It's for the entrepreneur who wants to go from making 6 figures a year to over $1 million a year. In my 30s and 40s, that's where I was at. In my 50s, I discovered a practical way to do that based on science. And that's what I teach my entrepreneur clients today.
What's the fundamental thing an entrepreneur who does Think It, Be It needs to understand?
I don't mean to be too blunt about this, but you probably need to man up or woman up and face reality. The best way to explain this is really my own situation. When I turned 50, I wasn't as successful as I thought I should be. I thought I deserved more. In retrospect, I see that I was getting exactly what I deserved. I wasn't making over $1 million a year because I wasn't competent enough as an entrepreneur to earn more. I had to up my game. So the basic lesson I had to learn, and maybe you have to learn this same lesson, is to face reality and acknowledge that whatever is showing up in your life is exactly what you deserve and what you're creating. You can't fix a problem until you acknowledge it. I also came to appreciate that I was doing life like everybody else. I was working hard, but in the end, I was leaving my success to fate. What that gets you is an average life. But I was doing that because at the time, I didn't know there was an alternative. I discovered the alternative in my 50s, and that's what I teach you today. And here's something to think about from a perspective standpoint. If you step back from your life and you see that you're doing life like everybody else, you're not going to make $1 million a year. Not going to happen. Normal is not good. This is a fundamental thing to appreciate.
So what characteristics does a person need in order to do Think It, Be It?
You just have to acknowledge that you need to significantly up your game if you want to substantially up your income. If you grasp that concept, hey, we're good to go. That's because I have the way to up your game that works on everyone, only takes 12 minutes a day, and has compelling science behind it.
Your program appears to be better than, a coaching program.
I think it is. You take the visualization methodology that's customized to your unique life. You're finally applying science to your life. You combine that with the impact of putting your personal growth on autopilot every week. Then you add in learning the key lessons of being an entrepreneur from somebody that's been doing it 30+ years. And finally, you have your business objectively analyzed by another experienced and successful entrepreneur whose experience is directly applied into your business. This seems way better than having a coach try to help you who's never had big success themselves.
Oh boy, that is a great point. I know you have a quick story that puts this all in perspective. Will you share that?
When I was younger, I thought I deserved more success than I was getting. Sound familiar? I thought that because I worked harder than my friends. But in retrospect, I now see I didn't have a clear vision of where I was going, how I was going to get there, and a methodology for evolving my vision. I wasn't using science to my advantage. Also, I wasn't growing each and every week. I also wasn't mature enough to understand that my income reflected my level of competence. While I typically made a few $100,000 a year, I never came close to making over $1 million a year. The reason was I just wasn't sharp enough and good enough to do that. I didn't figure out how to up my game until I was in my 50s.
I really like your approach to giving value to your customers. Would you share that?
Sure. A number of years ago, I got to know Tony Robbins personally. He's the top business consultant in the world, according to Fortune magazine. He charges $1 million a year to clients like Oprah Winfrey and a few select others. And he has a simple philosophy. He needs to deliver a minimum 10 times return on investment to his clients. Think about that, a minimum 10 times return. Well, that's my philosophy as well. I feel blessed that more people want to do my program than I can accommodate. but I've seen repeatedly that providing value to my clients at a minimum of 10 times the cost is not hard to do. Once I help you raise your game, the cost of my program is immaterial relative to the benefits you get over the rest of your life. And I think the value is enhanced by the fact that no one else is offering what I offer.
How challenging is the Think It Be It program for most people?
It's not difficult at all. It comes down to doing 3 simple things. You just have to have the discipline to spend 12 minutes a day and read your visualization first thing every morning. That's it. All you have to do is read it. The second thing is follow our system for learning from experts on a weekly basis. We provide the audio links to do that, and we want you to do it when you're doing something else, either exercising or driving to or from work. We don't want it to be something you have to create additional time to do. We give you the weekly content, and we figure out how best for you to listen to it based on your unique life and schedule, so it takes no additional time out of your life. The third thing you have to do is have the discipline to set aside 15 to 30 minutes 2 times a week to simply think, using the thinking tablet we give you. This is one of those 3 or 4 key habits that we establish in your life. This provides the output for all the input you're feeding your brain from your daily visualization and the consistent learning from experts each week. Those are the only 3 things you have to do.
John, why can't people just do their own visualization without going through your program?
Here's the problem. People aren't objective about themselves. So you wouldn't get my third-party objectivity as well as the nuances of the science. You also wouldn't benefit from my study of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, which is the science of how you say things to yourself in order to get the maximum impact. You also wouldn't get my years of experience in the success and human achievement field, as well as my practical experience of being a successful entrepreneur. All that gets rolled into your visualization when I do it for you. The results you will get from reading a daily visualization will be determined by the quality of the programming that you input each day. So why not let an expert do the programming?
Give me the takeaway on all this.
My goal and passion is to take entrepreneurs and move them from making 6 figures a year to over $1 million a year. That clarity of purpose is powerful. Secondly, what I'm sharing with you is not theory. I was blessed to actually be able to raise my own game. I went from making low 6 figures a year to 20 times that. It didn't happen by luck. It happened by discovering a tangible way to up my game. And that's exactly what I teach you, the entrepreneur, who sees that they really need to start making 7 figures a year to get where they want to go.
That sounds like it is too easy. You're saying that by simply doing those 3 things, you can take your income from 6 figures a year to over $1 million a year?
I believe that with every fiber of my being because I've lived it and done it. Here's something I've learned. Candidly, there's not a lot of difference in the pure intelligence of people making over $1 million a year versus entrepreneurs making 6 figures a year. The differentiator today is control of self, focus, and continual growth. And that's what Think It Be It is all about. Once you have those things going for you, trust me, you're operating at a much higher level. In fact, you're operating at a level much higher than literally 99% of everybody else. I don't have to sell you on that. You know that's true. So if you wonder if you're smart enough to make over $1 million a year, get over that. You are. And once you have the Think It Be It approach to your life going for you, then you have a scientifically proven methodology to reach your potential. If other people are making $1 million a year in your business, you damn sure can too. And I'll show you how. I feel so blessed it happened to me that I'm passionate about helping other people do it as well, using my methodology. I also feel blessed that the University of Texas at Austin, with one of the top 10 business schools in the nation, has asked me to teach my methodology to their students.
Can you give us a real live example of a person that had already successful before they started the Think It Be It program and where it really upped their game from where they were before?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, Think It Be It is for high achievers. No doubt about that. That's why I'm selective about who I work with. Not too long ago, I worked with an entrepreneur out in Silicon Valley with a tech startup. Now, this guy is sharp. Coming out of school, he got a job with the international consulting firm of Accenture. He was one of the best just to get that job. He worked for a variety of companies, from Google to Facebook to Apple to SpaceX as well as NASA. Incredible experience. Then, being an entrepreneur at heart, he came up with a great idea and launched himself into being an entrepreneur. He then took Think It Be It. To wrap this up, I'll let him share with you the powerful impact Think It Be It had on him that he couldn't get anywhere else.
So for me, I'm a Silicon Valley tech entrepreneur. Young startup kid, started my own thing. And out in Silicon Valley, everything that we talk about, it's in terms of being scientific, being data-driven, growth hacking, hacking your company, hacking your product, hacking your success. And when you think about the way that you carry yourself in your everyday life, why wouldn't you want to hack your own self for your success? And that's really the way that I think about Think It Be It. In life, it's all about having control over yourself and being focused on a very small, specific set of goals so that you know what you're going to achieve every single day, every week, every month, and being able to mark those things down and see your progress. And if you take control over that on a daily basis and use Think It Be It, repeating the things that you want for yourself, for your business, and for your entire life over and over again, you start to harness this thing called the power of the subconscious mind. And for me, that's been like having superpowers compared to everybody else out in Silicon Valley. That's a collection of some of the smartest people in the world. But being able to hack my own success and focus on the few things that are most important to me and letting everything else just kind of drop off to the sides and knowing what my goals are, it's allowed me to become a better CEO, a better founder. I've learned skills that I never thought I could have learned in weeks rather than what it would have taken people years in a college degree to learn. And that's all been because of Think It Be It, because I have the power of my subconscious mind to do what I say I'm going to do every single day. And I can't express how grateful I am to be able to have that kind of superpower compared to my competition.